Another miss for Manchester United as Moises Caicedo has made his decision. It's not Manchester United. Well, we also have some news concerning the goalkeeping situation. Is it dividing Old Trafford? Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb. Assalamu alaikum to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. It's Eid Mubarak. If you're not a Muslim, it doesn't matter as well. It's a holiday. Celebrate with them. But let's get proper into this football talk concerning Manchester United. Now, breaking news has just come through, of course, confirmed by the transfer kingpin, that is Fabrizio Romano, that the discussions between Chelsea and Brighton concerning that youngster, that player, that is Moises Caicedo, are going to be happening. They are going to be happening this week. It is either later on today, tomorrow, or the day after, but this week the discussions are going to be happening because the two parties, in terms of player and club, have already agreed on personal terms. They are actually at a point where Moises Caicedo is ready to sign, but now Chelsea are taking it a notch higher now to advance and talk to Brighton over the possible signing of the holding midfielder, who is arguably the hottest holding midfielder when you talk global football today. While teams like Chelsea, of course, who are now in the lead, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester United have been eyeing Moises Caicedo, but only Chelsea seemed to be so serious. They made the move. They pointed to the player, had an idea, and they were bold enough to go and attack the situation. And guess where we are now? In a few days from now, Chelsea will be getting the attention and the audience from Brighton to make sure they sign that player. Well, guys, another miss. There we go again. Another miss for Manchester United. And again, you think about it. I don't know how long we will be here crying about, spilled milk. But we will do this. Perhaps this is our life now as Manchester United. But as it is right now, Moises Caicedo, who United wanted, and I was telling you guys, for me, the dream transfer window this summer, for me, the dream would have been Manchester United signing a world-class striker and a world-class central midfielder. Now, we already failed out on Adrien Rabiot, who chose to extend his stay at Juventus for another at least 1 year. United is failing on Moises Caicedo just when you thought maybe we lost out on Rabiot, but the focus is going to be serious on Moises Caicedo. Ten Hag and his team do feel like Mason Mount is more important. In fact, as we do get reports again through coming confirmed by Fabrizio as well, that Manchester United are going to be meeting Chelsea. Remember, Chelsea made a request that United should proceed and have a physical meeting to try and talk them into accepting a £58 million deal plus £7 million in add-ons. United's offer, remember, is up to £55 million. That's 50 cash and 5 in add-ons. Now, according to what we are getting, the meeting Chelsea requested for when rejecting the third bid by United was a meeting that was said to have was supposed to happen this week that has ended. United had played the long game. Now Chelsea seem to have convinced them to meet over Mason Mount. So meaning United is still serious and hoping to sign Mason Mount, a player who many of us feel is not the first priority United needs right now. But that's where we are. So as we are trapped on conversations with Mason Mount, well, Chelsea are making moves, and this week they will be meeting Brighton. The two clubs will be discussing about the player. Chelsea have the money now. They have the money to spend. They have sold so many players. United are still looking on. They haven't sold a single player. We are I think, in a very difficult time. If you can't buy players, I keep saying it is easier to buy to buy something than to sell. Now United has failed, cannot even attract a free player. They cannot buy a single footballer. How do we expect them to sell the Harry Maguires? If the players were obvious sales, players like world-class players who we put on the market and everyone will come running on your door to try and buy them, it will be different. Declan Rice at West Ham. West Ham are refusing bids after one after the other. They seem to be, I think, about to reach an agreement with Arsenal, who tabled a £105 million deal, their last bid for Declan Rice. Now, Arsenal are making moves. They are bidding players for players of £105 million. Now, United are still there, trapped on Mason Mount. Moises Caicedo, so Declan Rice was linked to United, he's gone. Moises Caicedo, Chelsea are taking him. Like I told you here months before, I think weeks before, I told you he seems to have chosen Chelsea. They agreed personal terms. Now, Fabrizio is coming out to confirm the same. So the talks are going to be happening. And by the time it gets to a level of the club conversing with the club, when a player is contracted, it shows you that the personal terms have been agreed. So, again, United are there. Nothing is happening. Uh, Chelsea is interested in Onana. We know now they can spend, and they know they can spend. And Chelsea are known, for doing their business so fast. They have signed Nkuku. They have sold Mateo Kovacic to Manchester City. Other teams are doing business, and somehow United are there waiting on Mason Mount. So they are going to again spend another couple of days, maybe weeks, on Mason Mount. It shows you, like I keep saying, United does not work on timelines. That's poor management. And whereas Ten Hag is a good tactician, for me, whatever is happening at the club is giving us a biting expose. It's exposing the poor management at the whole, the whole institution. And we cannot just keep blaming the CEO and the football director. I think Richard Arnold, yes, and the football director, that is John Mata, should take their blame. But I think the manager has got to take ownership for some of these things going wrong, because United cannot be there dragging and dragging. The summer is moving. We are nearly 2 weeks into the window. It started on the 14th of this month. We are weeks into the window. And there's nothing. There's no progress. There's no significant progress being made. And, we can go about and over and about the takeover. And yes, we can't blame the Glazers. But if United can bid for Mason Mount 3 times, then certainly they can't bid for important players once at least. But all the important players are being taken. And that's the situation going on at Manchester United, guys. Do subscribe as I do continue to tell you about what's happening. So Moises Caicedo talks are going to be happening with Chelsea. They are advanced, and I think now it's almost done. I think it's a matter of time. He will be becoming a blue. So Chelsea has beaten us to Moises Caicedo. So who is the option? Liverpool are taking the lead on Romeo Lavia, the Southampton youngster. He should have been the plan B for Manchester United, but nothing was done. This is a youngster who is worth £40 million for Southampton. That's what they want. Man United should be withdrawing their bid for Chelsea. Of Chelsea's Mason Mount. Go for Lavia, Romeo Lavia. You need Romeo Lavia more than you need Mason Mount. But somehow the priorities are Mason Mount, Mason Mount, Mason Mount, Mason Mount. So what are the timelines? I mean, the window is 2 weeks. For Man United, the window is about 2 weeks away. You should get over and done with your business before the preseason. So whereas the window will go on up to September, the most important part is the preseason. You need to have all your players. Now, you should be moving fast. Other clubs are doing it. Manchester City has clarity. They made it clear. They tabled their bid for Mason Mount, £90 million. And West Ham, not Mason Mount, Declan Rice to West Ham United. West Ham United was clear. They rejected the bid. Manchester City have officially pulled out of the race because they have timelines. They know this is what we can pay for this player. If they don't want it, we've pulled out. Move on to the next. They will now be moving on to bid for another player. That's a sign of a well-organized institution. But at United, you're there going back and forth about a Mason Mount who is not so needed. The player has got 1 year left on his contract. He's only 24. Wait for the player. Move on with other players. He will join. He wants to join you. You've agreed with him. Move on as you wait for and try to sign the tough and more serious make the more serious signings. Now, Lavia is also going to join Liverpool, and on a cheap, I'm sure Liverpool will bargain for about 30 million. He's a youngster, the Belgian. He's a young boy in a relegated team, Southampton. So Chelsea, or rather Liverpool, knowing how good they are with their negotiators, most likely sooner rather than later they will be confirming him. Arsenal is moving so fast to sign the player from Ajax, the defender, Julien Timber. Again, United are there waiting on Mason Mount to have discussions with Chelsea. Where are the timelines? Where is the urgency? And we cannot just blame this on on the CEO and the football director. I think Erik ten Hag has got now to show character as a manager and force this club, if they are the ones delaying him, to make decisions and have things happen. Otherwise, we are going to have a very difficult next season. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be shaming, yet we had all the time. So that's the situation at United. Of course, there's talks that the Onana situation seems to be, of course, moving quite fairly fast. At least what we got from reports we got were that Onana and his bosses at Inter Milan, that's the sporting director of Inter Milan, was in the UK to try and talk to Manchester United about a possible signing of Andre Onana. But still, we are seeing drama going on with the goalkeeping situation. Another twist came out, and it was emerged that David De Gea's situation is being delayed by Erik ten Hag. So again, this is where I say even Ten Hag has got to take some blame. And guys, don't get me wrong, I love Ten Hag. I do want him at Man United because he has shown that he can do the job. But there are weaknesses we've got to talk about. If you are going to be honest, if we are people who love this club, we should be honest that Manchester United have got, and Erik ten Hag have got to adjust in certain ways they do things. They've got to move a bit faster. The game is too competitive now. You've got to move fast if you're going to get the best players. Forget about the transfer. You deal with what you have control over. And I think Ten Hag and the guys at United right now at Old Trafford have control over the money, at least the 120 million pounds, but also the sales, the Harry Maguires, the Anthony Martials, the Jadon Sancho, the players up for sale. The guys should be working out to go out and try to get buyers for these players, rescue you from these players. But nothing is being done. They seem to be so slow. They are taking their time. Well, certainly they could be doing something, but they say the end justifies the means. Now, if we are not seeing results and other clubs are getting results, so we are right to say nothing is being done. We won't listen to excuses that maybe we are working so hard. Why are you failing? It means you're incompetent. Other teams are moving fast. So United has got to move, to make moves. Otherwise, this is so bad on the club, and certainly we do hope that they do work on it, and we see signings made very soon for Manchester United. But that's the situation. As you read there down in the scrolls, that's the latest news concerning other clubs. If you're a Manchester City fan, you should know that your club has been clear enough to pull out of the race to sign Declan Rice. And as it is, Arsenal's final bid of £105 million seems to be the one West Ham has been waiting for, and sooner rather than later, it should be confirmed. Arsenal, of course, gone on. They are almost done with Julien Timber. They offered a third bid, and of course, we are waiting for final confirmation. I think it's a matter of time as well that they will get him. They already got Kai Havertz. He has done both of his medicals already. So, Man City have signed Mateo Kovacic. Chelsea has made their business. They have signed. Man United is waiting on Mount. That's where we are. So that's the situation. So the lack of decision, the lack of proper strategy, the lack of progress is, I think, costing Man United. The good players are somehow slowly but surely being taken. And guys can go back and forth about what happened last season when United, I think, seemed to want one player, and then they signed another, and they worked out. United wanted, I think, Timber, and then somehow ended up signing Lisandro Martinez, and he has worked wonders. Well, we can go and make ourselves feel good by that. Maybe we're lucky it worked, but any manager will always want to sign their first priorities. Yes, whereas the plan B is also not so far away from plan A, and it can work, but any manager will always want to sign their first priorities. So I do think at the end of the day, they lost. If you did not get your first priorities, you lost. Even if things you would be lucky and they turn out right, but you still lost. You did not get your first priority. So we cannot be in this situation. We cannot be back and forth in this situation when other clubs are making moves. So that's the latest that has happened concerning Moises Caicedo. So guys, we should be going back to the drawing board and start speculating who else United should be bidding for. But as it is, no serious signing has been made except Harry, the 16-year-old born of 2007. That is Harry Amas from Watford's youth team. He's 16. He's a left back. He's the only signing United has made. We've got so many players up on sale. No one has flattered us yet to buy any. Harry Kane is clear. He should be headed for Bayern Munich. He wants to go to Bayern. Bayern tabled a very interesting, funny bid. It was immediately dismissed by Tottenham Hotspur. Daniel Levy is playing stubborn that he doesn't want to sell, but certainly when he gets the money, the £100 million or 90 or thereabout that he wants for Harry Kane, certainly he will cash in on him. But that's the situation. This is the hotspot. My name is Webb. Subscribe. I will be back later with more breaking news as it comes, but also later on at 9 p.m. That's 21 hours. I will come back here to give you some more updates. Now, of course, again, a new breaking, story coming out from Biasim saying that Manchester United will send an official offer to Inter Milan for Andre Onana. I think that is a sign that maybe the talks with the Inter Milan chief who has been in the UK did make sense. Probably they agreed on a few things verbally, and now United are preparing to make it formal. So that's, I think, what's going on. And again, still another one coming through from Court Offside right now is that Man United have been frustrated by Chelsea in talks over Mason Mount so far, but they haven't given up, and their bid is still on the table. Guys, sad news. I had to end it on a sad news. Thank you. Subscribe to the Hotspot, and let's keep talking about the biggest football clubs in the world. We do hope United will be making a signing soon, and I hope it's not Mason Mount, but a more needed player. My name is Webb. This is the Hotspot. Subscribe. Chat later.